Hi, I'm Josh, and today I'm going to be looking at this. These are the new Google Pixel Buds Pro. They're the latest from Google's earphone lineup. So, some of the features. The active noise cancellation is amazing. Like, generally, they've done a really good job. Your ears don't feel plugged. It cuts off all low noises pretty much, and even some of the higher ones. It just does a really, really good job all round. And this carries on with transparency mode. I don't even feel like I'm wearing them. I mean, my voice still sounds slightly weird when wearing it, but everyone else's seems just as if I weren't. It's a really good experience with these. They've done a really good job. One of my favorite features at the moment is the multi-point. It is on point. It's just amazing. I can be watching YouTube on my laptop, and then I'll get a phone call through on my phone, and as long as it's connected to both, it instantly switches over to my phone's Bluetooth, and I can start listening to the phone call, or I can ignore it and it'll go back to my YouTube. It's great. It's just a really good feature. The sound, of course, is very impressive on these. I mean, I loved the 2020 ones. They sounded really good. And apparently the A series sounded really good as well. So it's not a surprise that the Pro variant is just as good. And due to the active noise cancelling, that really helps make you hear those little details because you can't hear anything else around you. Some things missing with the sound though is the adaptive EQ, bass boosting, and those experimental attention alerts. It might just be a software update thing, but yeah, it's just I'm not sure why they're not there. I quite liked using the bass boost occasionally, but the experimental attention alerts and adaptive EQ were some of my favourite features from my 2020 variants. So why they're not there on the Pro ones, not sure. Hopefully it'll come through. The buttons, so the touch controls, there is now a new customizable option where you long press. Long pressing used to only do Google Assistant, but now it can switch between your noise cancelling modes and your Google Assistant, and you can change which bud does what. So you can have, for example, I have my left one, if I hold that down it does Google Assistant, and my right one, if I hold that one down it does my active noise cancelling, my ANC, and my transparency mode. So with the ANC transparency mode, you can switch between ANC on, transparency mode on, or all off. And then the only other option is Google Assistant. So you can have that set up on both buds, or you can have one doing other, or whatever you want. If you're using one bud at a time and you've got that set up on different ears, the orientation stays the same. So for me that would be, if I have my left bud in and I hold it down, it will do my Google Assistant, and my right bud in and I hold it down, it will change my noise cancelling mode. Keep in mind, when you only have one bud in, noise cancelling will just be disabled. Makes sense because you can't noise cancel half your ears, but it's just something to keep in mind, that it only allows you to do transparency mode and off. So I don't really have any complaints about this. There's just something that's a bit strange. So when I have them in my ears and I turn off ANC or transparency mode, the plugged feeling comes back in quite heavily. Now I know that's because when you disable all those features, you disable the anti-plug feeling. That's what I'm going to call it, anti-plug feeling. But yeah, it's just something to keep in mind, because if you're low on battery and you want to save some of that battery to keep it on for an extra few hours, you may have to disable your ANC and transparency mode, which will then bring that plugged feeling in. Yeah, like the old ones didn't have this, but I know they had a canal going through them, like a little gap, allowed that plug feeling to disappear naturally on its own. While these, I don't believe, have that. I'm not really sure, but yeah, you can definitely feel, it's like sticking your finger in your ear, and well, that's just how it feels, that plugged up feeling. So overall, I'm very impressed with these buds. They sound great. They don't feel strange while I've got ANC on or transparency mode, and they have some really great features like that multi-point connect. I'm just loving that at the moment. Also, just a side note, the battery level drains the exact same on either side. So as you're going, it doesn't just drain on one side more than the other, as it used to do on some of the older ones, like the 2020 ones used to suffer this, I believe. So yeah, that's quite good. But yeah, I've been Josh. Thank you for watching.